From a young age, I think I took my first Spanish class in second grade, and it was 2 weeks, and you learned your colors and your numbers and what you call your family members. And I remember walking away from that class, and since then, to this day, I still call my grandma abuela. And so I've had this spark of language passion, and then had developed some friends that were foreign exchange students at my high school that I went to go visit. She was from Mexico, so I went and stayed with her one summer for 2 weeks in Mexico City. And I found connecting with people of different cultures and backgrounds is just something that intrigues me. And I find these people so interesting, and I'm passionate about communicating with them. And so I think that's why I wanted to find a career, and I chose to study international business at the University of Kansas, because that was something that I knew I would be happy with no matter what the work was. Dealing with people that are different from me makes me happy because I get to learn from them every day. One class that really stood out to me, it was a 400 level Spanish class, and it was language and business culture in Spanish. And I think that really helped kind of hone in. I took it my senior year, and I had learned how to speak Spanish through study abroad and through my language courses, and I had learned about how business operates in Latin America, but it really honed in my skills of how can I be a professional while speaking Spanish, because that's something that you start to learn, how to be a professional while you're going through the business school, and how to write your cover letters and your resumes in a professional format. But then how do you do that in Spanish? And what's that vocabulary? I think study abroad is number one in developing global competency. You learn so much about yourself when you study abroad that you're put into an environment when there's a lot of uncertainty, and you learn how to react. Passionate about Latin American studies through my college experience, and I think I got narrowly focused. So I did a major in management and leadership, followed with a minor in Latin American studies, that minor and some of those other concentrations with a Latin American focus. And now I work for a company that's global headquarters are in Finland, and I wish I would have expanded my international reach and really focused more on those European markets. Having global awareness is something that you always need to be working on continually. And I think in college, what you can specifically focus on is your communication skills. Taking those higher level management courses like organizational behavior and interpersonal skills or skills for managing people are very helpful to learn how you communicate and receive information, and how people that are different from you with other personalities receive and communicate information. And if you can start to understand that and apply that in group projects, because college, once you get into the upper level management classes, those are all collaborative. Well, in the work life, all of your projects and everything you do is collaborative, and you're always going to have that one person that isn't quite pulling their weight. And so how do you get to that person, and how do you, properly communicate with your peers, with your management, so that your message is received? And I think that's one thing that foreign language helps you with too, and then also understanding personality differences between people that are speaking your same language. Having a foreign language is so important, and it really speaks volumes to your business relationship. So you can have a transactional business relationship and bring in that translator, and they can do the dealing for you, but you really don't get to know your contact through a translator. You miss out on those key details that they wouldn't share with you, because it just takes the extra time for the translator to receive it, send the message, and then for you to go back. And so I highly think that having a relationship in business is more strategic, and reach out and speak their language. Even if you attempt to speak their language and you're not perfect at it, you definitely develop more of a connection, and you get to know that person better, and you can build that relationship and build a strategic partnership with them. One opportunity where my company asked me to step in was we were having significant delays on a project where we were making a new product at our Mexico facility, and everyone was frustrated. It was behind schedule, and so they asked me to step in as the project manager. And so stepping into that role and having an understanding of how the Latin American culture operates differently from those in the United States, I think that was step one. Knowing the differences in the culture. Step two is knowing the differences in communication. My team here in the U.S. was asking, can you do it? And they were saying, yes, we can do it. And that collectivist culture is always going to answer, yes, we can, but they weren't asking the right questions of what resources do you need to do it, to get it done in time? What's the timeline in order to get that done? So it was just a matter of asking the right questions and the right follow-up, and knowing your audience and who you were working with.